four of us were lunching together at a restaurant in South Melbourne. Four men. Our attention became focused on a young couple at a table yonder. Perhaps we were at an age where we were just a little bit intrigued, envious, or amused at their playful enjoyment as they waited for their meal to be served. And just as it arrived, his phone rang. He talked and talked and talked on the phone. She began to pick a little at her food, but he talked and talked. She then threw her knife and fork on the table and stomped out. The four of us men looked at each other, and one of us shrugged and said, "I'll bet you $10 she'll come back." He won. When we were halfway through our meal, she was back. Her face showed that she had something to say. And she let him have it. And the four of us looked on with fixed amazement. Perhaps we too were envious. We wished perhaps we too could speak as she spoke. Less than 20 minutes before, we had seen love dancing on the table. Laughingly dancing on the table, yonder. But then love had gone, and rage had slipped into its place. She put half of that rage right on his plate. And then she scooped up the other half of her rage, and she was gone. Her male friend, ex-friend, went on eating, finished his meal, and began to leave. And as he pushed past our table, one of my companions at the table proffered a little advice. He said, "Don't forget your phone." And of course, we four of us chuckled. But the man who was now friendless snubbed us with his look. Now, as I stand in the queue at the sandwich bar yonder this way 2 or 3 times a week, over here in Little Collins Street, as I stand there waiting, my eyes focus on a sign above the sandwich bar which says, "You will not be served if you're speaking on your phone." So I suppose there is a limit to love, even in the sandwich bar. Or there is a tyranny of love, isn't there? It is a love that expects, that demands, that defies, that destroys, as it insists that its neediness is received, or neediness receives what it insists it deserves. There is a tyranny of love that says, I had to attend that telephone call. The phone was ringing. I had to answer it. She was stupid. She was impulsive. She was out of control. She was lost. Oh, she lost. She lost. He lost. Love lost. St. Paul said in that great letter in Corinthians, he said, words that are given expression at so many wedding days. He said, love will never come to an end. Ask that pair at the lunch table. So Jesus said, love your enemies. Do you know we have difficulty loving just minimally the people who we minimally like? How can you love your enemies? Over several years, of course, I've listened to couples speak about their love for each other. Love. This last couple of Sundays I've been talking about on this very theme. About love found, love in the tumble dryer, love lost. Love sometimes restored, love sometimes reconstructed. So some of them say to me, we get on better when we don't talk about his work. We get on better when we don't talk about his religion. We get on better when we don't talk about his boozing friends. We get on better when we don't talk politics. We get on better when we don't talk about his schemes, what he's going to do in 5 years, 10 years' time. We get on better when we don't talk about his stupid sister or his neurotic mother. See how treacherous the ground is. We get on better when the dog is there. We get on better when I drive and he shuts up. We get on better when he does his thing and I do mine. So what does getting on mean? Does it mean that's love? That's love. Does getting on mean making calculations of how to approach and how to avoid? The dream and the delusion. What we need, what we really need. What do we need? You needy people, what do you need? And what is really necessary? Two different things. Many people we know have nobody to get on with. No one came and sat at their table. Or someone came and left. Someone was there but walked out, walked away, died, now absent. No one at the table. Where is the love that life was supposed to give us? How does the sheer neediness of a child's love, the child's love for his mother, become a love that is enriching to the child as he or she grows into adulthood, as that love becomes altruistic in the ways, his ways, her ways with others, in the way love can become celebrative of something good in life. We saw it once or twice, smiled at it as it danced on the table, and then sighed. Yes, we sighed when it disappeared. Suddenly, we're face to face with what I've called today 6 great gifts of love. Now, one of my senior office bearers said to me this morning before I came down, why only 6? Well, 6 will do, won't it? If you get one of them, you'll be all right. If you get 6, you've got the lot. So I'm going to talk through 6. There is that intimacy, sometimes full of excitement, sometimes residing in quiet contentment. An intimacy. Love has walked around us. Or there is the talking, listening interchange in our various streams of friendship. We wouldn't call it love, we call it friendship. But that talking, listening interchange, the streams that are floating around us, are an expression somewhere there of good, positive feelings that love would like you to notice it. That's the second one. The third one. There is the pleasure of being with someone, just being, just there, just walking with someone. I call it a column, like a column of smoke that rises up from our common life for just a few moments, for a short time. And for a time we see it in the kindness of companionship. And like the column of smoke, one moment it is there, and then it wafts away. Is that love? Love in the column of smoke. And the fourth, there is what I call the garden stake that holds the tree up. Without the garden stake, the tree falls over. When the winds are threatening, it might blow it down. The garden stake stays put, even though the dried out soil crumbles around the base. The garden stake which is there and will be there even when it's not needed to be there. It will be there. The great gift of love is that it may never say its name. In fact, its name is here or there. I am here. I am there. Did you notice? I am the stake in the ground. In the world of technical language, we call it emotional support or the therapeutic alliance. In our language, we call it a good, stable presence. Number 5. A few years ago, I read an article which was titled "Love and Other Monsters." Now, as I thought about that, one monster is like the wolf in the fairy tale of the 3 little pigs. Oh, I've visited the 3 little pigs many times, but they need to be visited again, because the wolf threatens to blow the place apart. The wolf is out to consume the little pigs. The wolf is a symbol of fear. Love says, find a way to keep the wolf at bay, to keep the wolf from hurting us. Love says, find a way to neutralize your fears so that you can embrace the strength to live and survive in a world that has many threats, many wandering wolves, if you like. Love is often irrational, silly, uninsightful. Love sometimes fails to see the wolf, sheep's clothing and all that. But there it is lurking under your window. So we need to develop insight, self-protection, real inner strengths. We need to grow into intelligent, careful lovers in the world. That's the 5th one. The little pigs had to learn how to be strong enough to build their safe places, their inner strengths, their inner skills, their inner intelligence, their social survival, their social enjoyment. Notice this. We can be so affected by the monster, whatever it happens to be, that it saps us of all our strengths. The fear of the monster and the image in our minds of the size of the monster, the damage that might do, the damage that it did way back there, not doing it now, but it might do it again and again. It absorbs our focus and leaves no space to focus on your strengths, on your necessary maturity, on your necessary dignity, on your necessary self-worth, on your self-energy. So would you note that? The wolf in all its guises can take over. Rather, develop the strengths that will be effective in living in a world where monsters roam. There are many kinds of monsters. It might be deprivation, feeling deprived of a love way back in the past, the love of a parent, the love of someone else, whatever. It may be, the monster may be the torturous memories that you have of what did or did not or could have happened in the past. There are many forms the monster takes. We need to have strengths. And so we're given love. Number 6. Love is like a wardrobe, full of clothing of many kinds, many compartments. Of course, some people only want one kind of love, one color, nothing else. And they miss out on all the other colors. You see, when we open the wardrobe, we find the wardrobe itself has several compartments. The love of people for people. The love of parents for children and the wider family. The variety of friendships are all there in the wardrobe. The love that stays there no matter what. Oh, and over here we've got the worrying love, the conflicted love, the neurotic love, the silly love, the jealous love, and the dogmatic love. But open another department and you see the love of trees and shrubs and flowers, the love of hills and mountains, of seas and lakes. Another compartment, and there we have the love of poetry and music, of art, of jewelry, of books. And another department, oh, don't miss these departments. The other compartment of dogs and cats, your pets. The love of butterflies and birds, of blue skies and strong winds. Another compartment, the love of quietness and beauty, the love of a colourful spectacle, the love of signs and experiences of goodness, goodness of people you hardly know, and the kindness of strangers. The wardrobe is loaded with love's many colours, many forms, many expressions. And how silly we are that sometimes we say, we're not interested in any of that, we only want this. And I'm going to have this. And as soon as we say we possess it, it's floating away. Now I know that some people speak of erotic love. Some know the love of families. The books give various names to it, don't they? Eros and Philia and Storge and Pragma and Ludos and Agape. They're all there. Some speak of close bonds, of soulmates, friends close by and friends in another place and another time. Love that gives meaning to your life. And love that gets tangled with your many needs. We need to sort ourselves out so that we see that love has many gifts. Today I put to you 6 gifts. The wardrobe of love. Many compartments. Clothes of many colours. The love of self. The love of myself. Strong enough to tame or to avoid the monsters. The garden stake of love. There. Here. There. The column of smoke of love. rises, and our eyes follow it, and it's gone. And friendship. Friendship. What a gift. Many kinds of friendship. How difficult it is to have a friendship. Real friendship. And then there's the intimacy. Intimacy and closeness. Physical intimacy, physical closeness. Mind intimacy, mind closeness. Spirit intimacy, spirit closeness. The reality and the fantasy. The stories and the music. The hope and the dream. We are inclined to designate the kind of love we will settle for. We wish it, we need it, we demand to have it, we hope to have it. In this single-track determination, we easily miss the variety of the gifts, love's gifts. 6 gifts of love. Now you might want them all. Or you might have 1 or 2, or a mixture. You can pick. And just when you think love has gone, or love is not for you, it comes again in a different form, different colours, different clothing. Again and again we hear the familiar theme spoken at every baptism here in this church. Words at the beginning of the young child's life makes every baptism so important. The words I use are these. Life comes with its crucifixions. I hope you can complete the next line. Spoken over 45 years. Love also comes with its resurrections. Life has many gifts. You can have them all, or you can take your pick. Would you please stand? Say with me, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. And the blessing. May the God you see in all the colours of creation arouse in you a sense of awe and wonder. May the God who is a sacred presence be real to you. May the God who is a source of inspiration and courage keep calling you forwards. May your God go with you and bless you today and always. I'm talking about love today, as you know. I'm going to read you a poem that expresses a different kind of love. It's rather sad and shocking in one way. It's written by Dr. Barry Morley. He used to be a member of this church and sang here in this church. He is a neurologist, indeed he's the professor of neurology up in Queensland, if he hasn't just retired, about to retire. And he also was the author of the words that occur on our rock out in Collins Street. I am cleft by your compassion. I asked him to write some poetic words for that rock, and he wrote the words, I am cleft by your compassion. Now here's his rather unsettling poem that he wrote some time ago. He's a doctor, a neurologist, remember. An old man died while at the football match today. His heart choked in the palpitation of the game. He slumped with staring, sightless eyes. I kissed my breath into his mouth to taste his flesh beneath my urgent lips, change gently into cloying clay. His frantic wife was calling him. He stirred a moment. He had come so many times before, but this was now the last time. While I kissed and kissed again, the crowd's wild shouts still surged in waves around our island. We tried. He died. She cried. But the game went on. And Bill Cotter wrote this poem. Bill Cotter, also well known to us, and to me particularly, over many, many years. If God exists, it is in you that I look. If love exists, it is in you that I must look. If life exists, it is in you that I must look. In the tramping of your footsteps as you pass, in your bodies swaying as we move, in the sweating of your fingers should we touch, in the meeting of our eyes should we meet, in the you, uniquely you, may be the me, unique to me. And I said, that was a poem of I and thou.